I'm a Dacia Sandero MK2, and a lot of people ask about the intervals of the timing belts and chains. So first of all, the engines in these vehicles, they may have a belt or a chain depending on the type of the engine. And if it's a chain engine like the 1.0 SCE or the 0.9 liter turbo engine, the chains do not have a required interval. So the manufacturer says that the chains are there for the entire lifespan of the engine, which is not exactly true, because in these engines at about 100,000 miles, 150,000 kilometers, you will have issues with the chain rattling, and if the chain starts rattling, you need to replace it along with the tensioner, because otherwise the chain will jump when it's stretched too much and the engine is done. So the engine is probably damaged beyond repair. So when it comes to the chain, once you hear the rattle, it may be 100,000 miles, it may be 150,000 miles, maybe 200,000 miles. It depends on the driving style. It depends on how much you abuse the engine, how much you accelerate when the engine is cold, and things like that. So it depends on a lot of factors, but overall at about 100,000 miles you may hear some rattling, and this means that the chain requires replacement. And then when it comes to the belts have different replacement intervals. For example, the 1.2 liter engine, this is the small non-turbo engine, has the interval of 6 years or 120,000 kilometers or 72,000 miles. This is a good interval, but usually in these vehicles, in these engines, the belts will not last that long. So it makes sense to change the belt at 90,000 kilometers to reduce this interval. And if you install the aftermarket belt, you should reduce this interval even more to 60,000 kilometers. And 6 years is a good time interval. So whether it's 6 years or the mileage, whatever comes first. And then the 1.5 diesel engine K9K, they also have belts, and these belts have recommended interval of 150,000 kilometers, 90,000 miles, I believe, and also 6 years. So the 6 years interval is okay, but 150,000 kilometers, it's a lot. And you should reduce it to 90,000 kilometers. And also, if you install the aftermarket belt, it's 60,000 kilometers and not more than that, because otherwise the belt may just break and you will have issues with pistons having an unpleasant meeting with the valves, and the engine may be extremely damaged. So when it comes to belt intervals, Dacia and Renault are very optimistic about the time or mileage their belts will last, and you should be careful with that, because usually when it comes to belt replacement, the car is not under warranty anymore, and so if the belt breaks, it's your problem, not the Renault's problem or Dacia's problem. So be careful with these intervals.